Welcome to the BMC Remedyforce Summer 16 Early Access Program. My name is John Fulton and I'm one of the product managers for BMC Remedyforce. Today's webcast will be a live demonstration of the upcoming Agentless discovery and client management capabilities. Please be aware that what we're showing you today are future enhancements which are under NDA and our safe harbor statement applies. Alright, so let's get started with the demonstration. As mentioned, we're going to walk through a live demonstration of the upcoming Agentless discovery and client management capabilities. I want to first focus on the Agentless discovery, and then we'll talk about the client management features. What I first want to do is just take a look here. If we take a look at the CMDB, just to show you, we are going to start with just a small sampling of devices. These all have been imported through Agentless discovery. One thing I want to highlight also before getting into the details of Agentless discovery are just the basics around the CMDB and some of the benefits. One of the key benefits is the ability to associate devices to your incidents, problems, and changes. So if I go into my console, for example, and if I'm in a scenario where maybe I'm the agent and I'm just received a call from an end user, I want to go in and create a new incident, and maybe that client is myself, so I'm wearing two hats here, and I'm requesting some additional software. So this is for some desktop software, and again, this is a generic scenario. You can define a wide range of different scenarios here, whether it's software requests, incidents, problems, changes. And I want to identify a device where I want to install the software. And by simply clicking on the magnifying glass, you'll see that it just lists one device. This is the one device that's currently assigned to me as the end user. If I have multiple devices, I would see those here by default. The search actually by default will only show devices that are currently linked to the client. You can filter by account, or you can see them all. It's really up to you, but it's nice, especially if an end user is calling in, to default a filter here, so I can easily select that record and save that record and make that connection. And we'll get back to this scenario in a little bit more detail in a little bit, but I just wanted to highlight sort of that connection between the foundational service management capabilities and just some very basic concepts around the CMDB. Alright, so let's jump back to the CMDB view and take a look at these devices that were created through Agentless discovery. With the exception of this last record, all the other records were created through Agentless discovery. If I drill into any one of these, you'll see it does provide quite a bit of detail. You can see the instance name, it'll give you a description. It'll tell you when it was last scanned, so we're tracking, the last time you scanned the device. So maybe something has been offline. You won't be able to scan it when it's offline, but you'll be able to run reports to see which devices have not been scanned within the last 30 days, for example, because maybe something's gone missing, or there could be a good reason, but it gives you the ability to be proactive and identify where there have been devices out there for an extended period of time that have not been scanned. We've got some other information, token ID, just a unique identifier. The class name is here. We also have some other detail here. I can see, total physical memory, virtual system type. This is a VMware instance. You can see the work group is the domain. Host name is also coming in. One thing I forgot to mention is the manufacturer, because it's a virtual device or VMware device, it identifies the manufacturer's VMware. So there's a lot of different data sets or data fields being populated through Agentless discovery. You'll see, again, there's a number of other fields here, and if you notice on the top of this view, there's a lightning bolt. That allows you to view a wealth of information. So in this case here with Agentless discovery, if I click on it, I can select inventory summary, and that will give me a more detailed view of the data that's been discovered through Agentless discovery. And you can see it's pretty extensive. There's a number of different tabs here. The first two are only applicable in the base Remedyforce license for agentless discovery. I'll explain the other tabs and how they relate to client management in a minute. But if we scroll through, you can see detail, you can see the partitions, you can see the different ports, some key information, the processor. So this is handy, operating system. This is very handy, again, if you're in front of an incident, somebody's calling in, you're trying to troubleshoot it, you have the ability to launch this kind of action. So if I go back to the console and I'm viewing this incident where I had already linked that device earlier, I have some agent tools here. One of those is CMDB Actions. If I launch CMDB Actions, it launches a view where it lists the device, and then I can perform a number of actions. Again, within the base Remedyforce license, only inventory summary will be available. So that can be pretty powerful, just to give this additional data, providing it to that agent's fingertips to be able to better support the ticket or incident that's in front of them. Instead of actually having to call the user, they could pull up information and potentially avoid having to reach out and contact the end user that initially submitted that ticket. The other nuance here that's important to note is that when I'm viewing these devices, as I mentioned on the other recordings, again, I'd recommend you watch the overview recordings, especially regarding client management. Within client management, we give you some additional actions to perform, and those actions are listed here. The remote control, file system registry, Windows events, auditing, file transfer, if you want to check connection, maybe you need to reboot or wake up a device. These are all available in the context of the ticket that you've received, much like I was performing with the inventory summary, which again is part of the base Remedyforce license. These other actions are enabled with the client management licenses. However, the one nuance is that if I'm a Remedyforce administrator and I select a device that has a scanner on it, again, at least one scanner needs to be installed in your environment to perform the agentless discovery. This first device here, this CLM AUS 011780, this device is the one that has a scanner on it, and I'm logged in as a Remedyforce administrator. Because of that, I have the ability within the base Remedyforce license to test out any of these actions. So for example, maybe I want to take a look at what services are running on this device because the end user is calling in to say that maybe their laptop is running very slow. So I could click on services and it will actually launch a window that will allow me to view the current services running on that device. It gives me the ability to start and stop services and restart them. And these actions could again be launched within the window. So I don't have to close this window if I want to try another action. So you can see here's the services that I just ran, but maybe I want to view the registry. So I can click on the registry and stay within this window. Again, it gives me the ability to view registry, perform certain actions. Maybe I want to view Windows events. Gives me that ability to perform a wide range of actions, all in the context of the incident, or if I'm within the CMDB and just pulling up a record, I could launch these same actions. And again, these actions are only available through the client management license, with the exception of just those scanners, which again, customers may have 1 or 2 or 3 scanners in the environment, only available for the administrator. And we designed it in this way so that the administrator could, in essence, trial some of these client management features without having to worry about setting up a whole separate trial environment. Again, because end users can't perform these actions. So we've locked this down to limit only the administrator to some of these advanced actions just for trial purposes. You can see some other options here if I want to audit. Again, this could be another nice feature if maybe you're running a scan and you're just running it maybe on a weekly basis or every other day, whatever the schedule is, and you want to run it immediately, you could just select the audit now, and that will trigger the scan to run right now, and then within a matter of seconds, maybe a minute or so, your record will be updated with the latest discovery data from the action that you just initiated. Some other options, there's remote control. Remote control, as you would suspect, this allows you to launch into the actual screen of the device, which is a nice feature. If I click on remote control, it will walk through a few steps here to activate the remote control screen. And in just a few seconds, you'll see that it launches the remote control capability for that device that you're currently on. So again, think of a scenario here where, again, just a very basic scenario, maybe someone's calling in because their laptop's not performing, there's some kind of issue. If you link that laptop to your incident, you would have the ability from the incident to perform an action under Agent Tools. And again, depending on your license, you have the ability to perform those actions. Again, the remote control file system, all these same actions that we saw from within the CMDB. Now, if we take a look at these other devices, as I mentioned, only this first device is the one that has a scanner on it, and this would be the only one that the administrator and the base license could test out these other actions. But if we look at some of these other devices, and I click on the icon here to run the action, you'll see that I can only run inventory summary, regardless of whether I am the administrator or the end user. I'm unable to run these actions, and the main reason is that you need an agent on these devices to perform these actions. So with the Client Management Premium and Premium Plus options, they give you the ability to leverage agents on these additional devices to perform these kinds of actions, which is why you can perform these actions just on the scanner, because the scanner is also, in essence, an agent, which is included in the base license. Now, if I go back and launch the window again, one of the things that you'll see that you saw earlier were these tabs. You see hardware, software, license unit, security, financial, and action history. So within the base license, you're going to have access to the hardware detail, which again we covered earlier. You're also going to have access to detail of software. So if I need to view, again, I'm troubleshooting an issue and someone's saying that Microsoft Explorer is installed on here and they're not sure what version, they can't tell, you can actually scroll through, find the version, and help troubleshoot. So you have access to everything that's been installed on the device through add and remove programs or through the registry. Pretty extensive list of items that are listed here. You can sort by the name. The other tabs, license unit, security, financial, and action history, these are not available in the base license. You can see here we have a message, your BMC Remedyforce Discovery Server license is not entitled to perform these actions. Upgrade to the higher version to perform these actions. For more information, see help. So we provide an online help information for the administrator to view more detail about the client management capabilities, to unlock these additional tabs and leverage this additional functionality. But within the base license, we're leveraging Agentless Discovery to where you have access to both the hardware and software tabs. The same thing applies for end users. The end users will also see these similar messages. The message is a little bit different for the end user. This is the message that the administrator would receive. For the end user, they would receive a message, I forget the exact wording, but it's something to the effect of, you're currently not entitled for these capabilities. An upgrade is required. Please contact your administrator for more details. And if we go back to the option here, if I hover over, actually if I select a different device and hover over one of the disabled options, it's going to give you that message. It's the same message. Your BMC Discovery Server license is not entitled to perform these actions. To upgrade to the higher version, go to online help. And again, these same kinds of messages, slightly different again for the end user, will appear here. just to provide some guidance and direction and explain why certain menu options are enabled and disabled. One thing I'd recommend you do is take a look at the FAQ that's been recently posted on the EAP site. It's an FAQ on the details around Agentless discovery and client management, giving you a list of the capabilities that are included in each of those options. The overview webcast also covers that, so there's a couple different places you can go to get more detail on why some of these features are enabled and disabled. Now, I want to mention too that you can launch this not only from the list view within the CMDB or within the incident. You can see here on the upper right hand corner that same lightning bolt appears, so you can launch it here. Again, you'll get the same list of options, so it should become very familiar with you. We just make it convenient depending where you are within the application. Again, whether you're within the CMDB record, whether you're on the list view, or whether you're in the incident, you can launch these different actions. Well, hopefully that gives you a sense of the power of not only the agentless capability, but these additional client management premium and premium plus options to perform these additional actions on top of those devices. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them on the EAP site. Again, I encourage you to take a look at the various videos that we've created around these new capabilities, and also the FAQ that goes into detail. And we'll welcome any feedback. We really appreciate your time and efforts in testing and evaluating these new features, and look forward to releasing Summer 16. Have a great day.